All right, folks, we are back and we are playing this very bizarre hand. We're playing Five Hearts Redoubled. Yours truly got into a tasty little auction against the robots and decided to gamble a little bit. And that's because my hand is super weird. This is one of the weirdest hands you're going to see. A very sexy 8 card heart suit with ace doubled into clubs, king third of diamonds, and a void in the suit. The opponents are bidding aggressively. And also, take a look here, folks. And when a spade, I chose to double. My strategy here, just so we can talk about the auction a little bit, was to show a huge hand with hearts, right? My hand is way bigger than just a 4 heart bid. I don't want to preempt 4 hearts and leave my partner to think that I only have one bid, right? So I want to double, and then I want to bid hearts aggressively. And in that effort, right, when a spade, double, 2-no, my partner bid 3 diamonds freely, right? So they have some values. So when it goes 5 spades, I'm very confident bidding 5 hearts because I love that the fact that they have 9 spades, they're bidding it aggressively. I'm not expecting partner to have too much wastage in spades. It's very unlucky on this hand that my partner does have that. But I bid 5 hearts, and when they doubled, I'm like, well, I mean, they can't expect me to have this hand. So that is why I rewound this sucker, and we're watching me play 5 hearts redoubled. So let's look at our losers, folks. In clubs, first off, let's go with spades. Right, spades, we have 0 losers always and forever. We have 8 trumps. We have no spades in our hand, and in fact, we actually have a winner on that side of the table. So no losers in that. In hearts, we actually have 1 loser likely, and especially because our left-hand opponent made a double here. It seems like hearts aren't going to break, and we're going to lose 1, and it would seem like the finesse might be off, right? But we'll count some points afterwards. In diamonds, that's the suit we have 2 potential losers in, right? Notice we're missing the ace and the queen. We will try to figure out where they are, right? But at this point, we look at this and say, hey, that could be 2 losers. In clubs, we actually have 1 loser in our hand, right? We have to make sure we get rid of that 6, but here we have a couple ways we can do it. We can throw 1 loser on this ace of spades. We're void and spades in our hand, so we can get rid of one of these cards, a diamond or a club with that card. The other very important thing we can do is we can trump our losing club in the dummy, and we should do that very early, right? We don't necessarily have to do it too early on this hand because we actually do have 11 trump, so we can always actually do that. Usually, though, with less trump, let's say we had 9 trump, and this is the dummy we're looking at. Just focus on the north hand, folks. This is a situation, shortness in a side suit and relatively short trump. Let's say we had 8 trump. We might have to draw all of these trump. We trump early, then we draw trump later, and we're sitting pretty. So that's going to be the strategy on this hand. First off, how are we getting rid of our losers? We just talked about it. We're going to trump 1. We're going to throw 1 on the ace of spades, and then maybe we can take a finesse in one of these suits. So first, the other thing we want to do before we do anything else, we want to count the points around the table. So our partner had 5 high card points. We have 14. That's 19. Let's give this player like 13 because not only did they open, but then they jumped to 4 spades, showing a good hand. So again, these could all be shape things, and we know they're very short in hearts in both hands probably, so they're adding some of their values. But let's just give them 13 and see what lefty's dealing with. So this is 27. That's 32 total points, which means lefty has about 8. And if this is to be believed, we're looking at 5 of those points, right? Top of touching honor lead, king, queen, you would expect there. So this player doesn't rate to have too much more than 3 points in their hand outside of this suit. All right, so let's keep playing this and see where we go. So there's the ace of clubs. And here at this point, we have 11 trump, right? And in this case, I'm expecting that if we're going to have a finesse to take, it's going to lose. So with 11 trump, it's actually like closer to 50-50 as to whether you play for the drop or you play for the finesse. Here, unfortunately for us, the finesse was winning, right? I don't know if we would have ever taken it anyway. We would have gotten a dummy, let a low heart to our hand. But here we now know that we are going to lose an extra trick. And this kind of goes back to that no trump thing. We should always reevaluate, right? There should be a step 4 here. Maybe I'll change that next time. Reevaluate when you create a loser possibly that you weren't expecting. So now we know we have a heart loser. So we have to make sure to keep diamonds to only 1 loser. And here's how we're going to do that, folks. We're going to trump a club. There goes our club loser. Bye-bye. All right. Now we're going to play the ace of spades. There goes a potential extra diamond loser if we had one. We're unlikely to take more than 2, though. And now here's the moment of truth. Where do you think the ace of diamonds is, folks? Especially based on what we've known so far. Do we know for sure? The answer is probably not, right? We can't necessarily know for sure here simply because they haven't really given us a ton of information on this hand, right? We know left-hand opponent didn't have the king of hearts, right? So they had the king, queen of clubs. They still have room for some values over there. As it turns out, I would say East has more likely to have the ace of diamonds, but it's not for sure. And as it turns out, the simple play of the jack of diamonds produced the ace of diamonds. And now, folks, take a look. Did we make 11 tricks? We certainly did. The only thing we're ever going to lose now is the king of hearts, and this hand is over. And that's plus 1,200. Boom, shakalaka. Big, big hand. Let's take a look at a couple of the mistakes that maybe the robots made, and then we'll take a look at the next hand for tomorrow. So here's the hand from the very beginning, and as we saw, they did actually have very nice clubs over there. They had a king, queen, and jack. All right, so when we win our ace, we play ace of hearts, and there goes the king. And this would, I was going to say, this was a mistake, except it wasn't a mistake. East was always going to have to play diamonds this way, unfortunately. They wished they had a low diamond here, right? They wished they had ace small, because it's automatic for them to play low and make us guess this, right? So if you were sitting there with ace doubleton, you would have to play low. As it turned out, this play was automatic, and it was an easy win for us. Big, big, big win, right? 5 hearts making 11 tricks, redoubled. We'll take it. So planning your play here was always going to lead you down the same path. You're the better play here, as you can see when you can see all the 52 cards, is to take a heart finesse, right? So our best play here at trick 2 would have been to trump a club and then play the ace of spades, pitching a diamond, and then lead a heart, right? And then we would have taken a finesse if we really guessed it. But honestly, I don't think we're ever going to guess the king of hearts is onside and not falling. So here we kind of took a percentage play playing for the drop, and now we just have to get diamonds right. And we couldn't help but get diamonds right here. Lucky stuff. All right, let's see what we're dealing with tomorrow. So let's go all the way from 5 hearts redoubled down to 2 spades. That is the contract you are destined to play now. And honestly, the north hand might have in other situations brought us to a higher level, but luckily for us, they only bid 2 spades with the north hand. And we'll talk about some other auction options in the next video, folks. But here, this 2 spade bid is what we're tasked with. And take a look. Count your losers. And you can also do a lot of extra planning here because, as we had in the last hand, we have an opening bid on this hand as well. To our right, this player opened 1 heart. So we're going to have some information. And I got to tell you, some of that information is not going to be happy for us, right? Especially this lead you should be able to predict the first 3 tricks, folks. What are the first 3 tricks going to be on this hand? Let's see if you're right tomorrow. I'll see you for it, folks. Take care.